Peace. Welcome back to the next entry of Modern Deities. This entry is going to focus on Aqua from Kingdom Hearts, who is a part of the trio in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. She is the first of the trainees of that trio to become a Keyblade Master. Apart from representing the water element, Aqua also represents balance, truth, which is also combined with the blue color, which you could say links to the throat chakra. She represents honesty and all traits of light. This is why she becomes a master first, because all those traits are needed in order to represent mastery within oneself. First being the initiator. All life begins in water. Aqua is a woman who is also a bearer of children. Her name means water. She also has the most powerful magic out of all other characters in Birth by Sleep. Water's ability to be gentle is shown through Aqua's feminine nature and her personality, and her immense power is mirrored as well through water if you think about tsunamis, tidal waves, heavy currents, and the erosion that water can cause. Aqua's connection to the sacral chakra, the water element, is shown through her nurturing personality, through her connections with her friends. The sacral chakra mainly focuses on connection. It also is the seat of sexual energy combined with the root chakra. And this is why Aqua's design is a little bit intriguing to the eye. Water, in terms of personality, and you can even go as far as to include the zodiac signs, tends to reflect deep-seated emotions through their characteristics, some being more intense than others. Aqua is a much more stoic character than Terra and Ventus, because she exercises great control over her emotions in comparison to them. This is why she doesn't fall to the darkness as easily as they do, and it's why she becomes a master in the first place. If you remember, in the opening scene to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, she and Terra are made to duel against each other to see who shows mastery in a critical time of battle. Aqua's the only one that manages to do so because she has a mastery over her emotions, whereas Terra shows frustration and impatience and a little bit more force with his power. So he ends up using darkness to get an edge in the fight, whereas Aqua doesn't need to do that. Aqua sacrifices herself to save Terra when he becomes Terra Xehanort, and she saves him from falling to the realm of darkness in the secret ending, which is a place that he wasn't ready to handle due to his inability to control the darkness. This prevents Terra from being fully taken over by Xehanort in the story. You can see her selfless sacrifice as a Christ-like action, which also is mirrored to Christ's image as a master, and he has disciples as well, which is more of like a master position. And in Theosophy, he's also considered a master as well, an ascended master. This adds to Aqua's mastery of both light and darkness, because she sees herself as someone who can go to that realm of darkness and come back. This also mirrors Jesus' descent into hell temporarily, as shown through different chapters in the New Testament, as well as Sophia from Gnosticism when she falls into the material world from the Pleroma, and you can check that out in the Pistis Sophia. We can also say that Aqua's descent into the realm of darkness mirrors a soul being trapped into the human body, which is also mentioned in Gnosticism as well. One can either succumb to it and become full of darkness and become similar to how Aqua became anti-Aqua. You can succumb to your own shadow, or to your lower emotions, or to the pitfalls and the downfalls of human existence, the lower chakras, trapped in your lower nature. Or you can overcome it and return to the light, return to your higher self, and come into a true knowledge of who and what you are and what you came to do, and live it thoroughly. We can also say that Aqua's descent to the realm of darkness, and when she becomes anti-Aqua, she takes on those darker traits to refine herself. After carrying the burden of her teammates for so long, she ends up being stuck there for 10 years, which, if you think about numerology, the numbers 1 through 9, she goes through an entire cycle of the numbers. By coming back to 10, she's starting all over again after a cycle of 10 years. So her loneliness and her grief are a testament to what can happen if any of us allow ourselves to dwell in the dark emotions or negativity for too long. So her being back to the number 1, that can either birth something new that's good and that can transform her, or it can birth something negative that she has to learn from, or that maybe you have to learn from. So her being anti-Aqua after staying in the darkness for 10 years is more of a symbol of what can happen when you get stuck in your own darkness. We can develop blame, shame, guilt, grief, and fear of anger towards abandonment. And so she shows this when she lashes out on both Mickey and Riku when they come to rescue her. And when she first met Sora and Riku and Kairi, they were kids, and she was the first one to encounter Kairi. When she encounters Sora and Riku, she finds that Riku was already bestowed a Keyblade, but chooses not to bestow one to Sora. Now this also ties back to her motherly characteristics when she bestows Kairi with the Keyblade inheritance. She does it unintentionally when she gives it to her, but her passing down a certain power to her children is similar to the genetics and similar to the personalities and traits that can be passed down from a mother to her own child. It should be noted that when Aqua initially surrenders to the darkness after saving Terra, she's saved before the Heartless can kill her because she allows herself to fade away into the darkness, and as she does so, she's attacked. But if you're familiar with the mechanism of surrender, as I've spoken about in previous videos, when it comes to letting go, you don't fight the darkness within you. You walk through it, you allow it to phase through you, and you release your need for control over it. Release your need for control over everything that's happening to you. You allow it to move through you and allow it to teach you. And you allow those feelings to be felt out thoroughly and allow it to bring you into a greater understanding of reality rather than allowing it to control you. Aqua, being the only master out of her peers, displayed that knowledge here. So even though she does become anti-Aqua, she became anti-Aqua because she displayed the mastery in not allowing her lower self to overcome her. She allowed herself to be born again and transformed after being awakened again by both Sora and Riku. So Aqua herself represents purity, adaptability, and understanding and nurturing, whereas anti-Aqua can represent our trial with our own darkness and obstacles in life. Even if you are a master, which we all are, our souls are all masters, there's always an other side to that coin. That other side will always be that darkness. And this is why I always say that even though Kingdom Hearts talks about the light a lot, Kingdom Hearts is really a story of darkness and how to master it within yourself. And so that also brings us back to Aqua and how to use her character as a symbol to benefit yourself. Because at the end of the day, whenever we encounter characters on screen or in media, the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself is to take the traits of that character and use it to bring you to a greater understanding of reality. Use it for yourself. It's one thing to be entertained, it's another thing to use what you see as something to push yourself forward. And we do it all the time. So by putting yourself in her shoes, you can visualize yourself embodying Aqua's positive and negative characteristics depending on what you're going through. Embody that purity, mastery, adaptability, and understanding. Your biggest hurdles can be you and the realm of darkness all on your own. Visualize that. Visualize yourself going through the darkness and surrender to it. Weights can be lifted off your shoulders as you move through difficult times. So imagine, you're going against all of your biggest obstacles. You're moving forward and you're going through those tough times, or you're just doing challenging things that you know are going to pay off in the end. That's you going through these types of trials. And those trials will only make you a master in whatever you set out to do and whoever you're supposed to be. Within all of us is the potential for mastery, no matter how dark things can get, no matter how challenging things can get. And this is where using Aqua's symbol comes along. As you can see her positive aspects and put yourself in that position as a master of knowledge of how to navigate through life, bring it to the next level, and transform yourself. When we use symbols, remember that this is about growth. And I can only give you the basic understandings, and I can only give you based off of my own experience, using these characters. But the keys to understanding yourself and how to move forward using those symbols will differ from everyone else that you get. Those keys will always differ from everybody else. And that's the entry for Aqua. So I look forward to hearing your guys' experience using these characters and using Aqua as a symbol for your own spiritual growth. Peace.